Listen up, get ready, I'm not gonna take no more. There's a revolution, a revelation going on in my soul. Buckle up, get ready, we're not gonna sit back.
Welcome back to Live from the Heartland, and I'm Michael James, still up here in the 49th Ward. And it brings me a lot of pleasure always to bring on our music producer, the one and only Lynn Orman Weiss. And somewhere in the greater Chicago area today, she is pulled over to talk to us for a little bit about things that went on in the past year. What stands out in the world, in Chicago, in the blues world, post-pandemic, whatever you got to share, Lynn, take it away.
Hey, Michael, thanks for having me on. And, I love listening to you because I always hear great music and great culture and great authors. And because of you, I ordered the Arhuli book.
Oh,
And
it's a great book.
oh my God, what a great picture book. And it reminded me of what you do because it's really a narrative, it's like a photo documentary. It's absolutely stunning. Thank you for mentioning it.
Yeah, Lynn's talking about the book about Arhuli Records and their founder who just passed away. And it's his photographs, which are beautiful, although he only cared about getting a picture of whoever he was going to have on the record. And it was for the album cover. But it's a great book. I think it's called Down Home Music.
Yeah, it's really, really beautiful. And, as you know, that's been one of my passions over the last 7 years now is making sure that I photograph artists on stage. And so that being said, I have been all over the place, kind of taking great photo. Not great because my camera broke. So I've been actually using my iPhone a lot.
Works.
And it's actually accommodated what I need for the magazines. I write for Big City Rhythm and Blues magazine and Buddy Guy magazine. And it's been good enough. Actually.
Well, let me ask you, Lynn, what do you got in terms of what went on in the music world that is of note to our listeners and viewers, either in the world or in Chicago, Mississippi, wherever you're going to take us?
Well, as you know, this is kind of interesting, but Buddy Guy stopped his tour. He was on a world tour this summer, and it got delayed because of some minor back issues. But because of that, we in Chicago and people from all over the world that got to go to Buddy Guy Legends got to see Buddy because he was there every single night. And he's still there every single night in his little corner. And he would come up on the stage and talk about the bands. And let me tell you something, putting a little ducat in the bucket. Buddy did that for some of the young bands and some of the touring bands that came through. That's all he had to do is hold up a bucket. And people from all over the world would just be coming in, dropping 20s in the bucket, and the artists would walk away with some really good bucks. And he will be starting his residency. People were afraid maybe he wasn't going to, but January 12th, he will open with our friend, Bobby Rush, 90-year-old Bobby Rush. And Buddy just turned 87. And I'm not sure if it's sold out yet or not, but it is a month residency, the whole month of January. I think it's only Thursday, Friday, and Saturday night this year. But always one of my favorite places to go and hear the blues. Buddy Guys Legends. But I'm actually doing a story, Michael, on places that you would not expect to hear music, like little shops or coffee shops or the Wine Goddess in Evanston or Frolic and Detour. People are doing things that are very intimate. And, some people are still masked up because they're concerned about the comeback of COVID and RSV. But it's really pretty extraordinary to go to all these little places and see some kind of off the chain, very down home blues and jazz and folk music and indie music, including some of your friends.
Well, I like hearing that my friends are working.
They
Um,
are.
why don't you talk a little bit about places that people can go to hear music? We had a pandemic that hit the musicians in the world really hard,
Yeah, it
and
did.
people are playing out again. I mean, you took me up to Space in Evanston, uh, and we had a really good time seeing Mo Better Brown. And then, because I fell asleep early, I didn't go to a couple other opportunities I had. But what are some of the places, Lynn, that you go to that are open now and have musicians kicking it out every night or pretty regularly?
Well, one of the things that I love about Chicago, and I'm just stretching my knowledge and my love for music in this city. Um, I just discovered a couple of places, one on Montrose called Angelo's, and they have a really great band there called the Wind Gypsies. As a matter of fact, I'm going to go see them on New Year's Eve, no cover charge, open menu, really wonderful. You and Paige should come. It's going to be great. And then another place that's been around forever, owned by Sue Fuller, called Fuller's Pub, Irish Pub on Irving Park Road. And they have music, including your friend John McDonald, who
Uh-huh.
plays on Wednesday evenings. I know on the 29th of December, they're going to have Mary Lane. Dennis Melzer does a jam, sort of a folk indie rock blues jam. It Fuller's the first of every month. And I fell in love with this place. It's in, I think it's Old Irving Park or Albany Park, but I'm not used to going to, you know, neighborhood bars. And some of these neighborhood bars have the best music and the best jams you ever want to hear.
Well, a big
So
jump from a neighborhood bar to probably Soldiers Field. What about the Rolling Stones coming to town? And are you getting a ticket to that?
very, very funny that you mentioned that. Okay, so I just came from John Primer's house where, he's nominated for a Grammy
Last
for,
week's guest we had on.
yes, yes, Teardrops from Magic Slim live at Rose's Lounge, another my favorite little juke joint in Chicagoland. Anyway, we talked about it and he's like, on his bucket list, be great to play an open Rolling Stones who will be at Soldier Field. They're like John's a little bit younger than Mick and Keith, actually.
Is
So
John going to
yes.
open? Is he going to open for the Stones?
Well, that's on his bucket list. And if anybody
Okay.
listening, because look at on his shelf in his basement was a videotape of him playing when the Rolling Stones jumped on the stage at Checkerboard Lounge.
Yeah. I
And
wish I was there. I wasn't.
well, Bob Dylan was here this year, right? And he was he at the Aragon maybe? And one of the things he did in every single town that he went to is he paid homage. He played one of his favorite artists from that city. And here in Chicago, I believe he did Nick Gravenitis. He did Born in Chicago and tribute to him and to Sam Lay. So yeah, it's great. We need to go see the artists who are still living legends in this city. And I wanted to say one thing before we take off here. The Chicago Reader has the Chicago Reader poll, which next year, Live from the Heartland better get nominated for best radio show. That's all I'm saying. Um,
Well, I don't really know about us, but maybe
I,
they will now.
well, we're gonna have to tell them. And there's a number of radio stations, but some of the best young artists who are in this city, like when your son was playing, are nominated this year, including the blues. I mean, there's a huge long list. And that poll is not only for best bar, I know Rose's Lounge is on that, best independent record label, best artist, best hip hop and jazz. And It's really interesting, and you can vote. Anybody can vote until January 14th.
Lynn Orman, you did a great job. Keep us posted. Get ready for next week or the week after. I'll be in touch
Okay.
later. Thanks a
Happy New
lot.
Year.